Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
We love having you be a part of it with us. Thank you, all of you who are. We love your comments. Please keep the comments coming, questions and takes. We'll read them all. We'll bring them into future shows. So please hit like, subscribe, and join the conversation here every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. Hey, Joe, how are you feeling after that Hail Mary pass last night?
I am feeling fantastic. It was a really fun game to watch. I have a lot of friends who, they secretly probably wanted Ole Miss. I don't know. But whoever you're rooting for, it was a good game to watch. The fourth quarter was great. I think there were like 5 lead changes. The Hail Mary, as far as that particular play goes,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. First of all, thanks to the several Diet Cokes I had, I was feeling pretty confident. But let's face it, Miami fans in particular have PTSD from 2003. Terry Porter. I was really waiting for a flag to come flying in.
That's
If you're
what
an
I
Ole
meant.
Miss fan, and I get it. If you're an Ole Miss fan, God, they were holding. I mean, it was clearly pass interference. Well, no offense, but if you are thinking that should have been called, then you don't watch a lot of football, because there's no way in heck, other than some bozo clown referee throwing a flag, that a real referee was going to throw a flag on that play. Plus, if you really look at it, it was in the very back of the end zone. I mean, what do you have gotten? I mean, whatever. Shouldn't have come down to that. I'm speaking from Miami's point of view, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I read the referee's comment after the ball game, and he just said 99% of the time we see the jostling and the hand fighting going down the sideline. We see all that. We're not going to call it.
Yeah. Well, and again, if you watch a lot of football, pro, college, high school, it really shouldn't be called when there's no clear advantage by one play. I mean, if you're tackling the guy or, whatever, and people can argue holding, whatever. But no, it was a great game. Thrilled Miami won. Not going to lie, I've been waiting a long time for that. Kudos to Carson Beck, just getting the ball back, 3 minutes to go, down by 3. Forget making mistakes and all that, but just some of the throws he made, there were a couple just really good, confident passes. I just love the way Miami handled that situation, came down and scored a touchdown. It was great. Didn't settle for a field goal. Loved it. Loved the outcome, and I can't wait to see who we get to play.
And you get to play for the first time in the modern era. I'm thinking maybe Duke played at home at Wallace Wade Stadium back during World War II or something for the national championship.
Back when they were good.
But the first time really ever a national championship participant, this time Miami, is playing in their home stadium. People go, oh, wait a minute, LSU in the Sugar Bowl, not their home. USC in the Rose Bowl in the 60s and 70s, not their home. That's UCLA's home. And UGA in the Peach Bowl or CFP playoff national championship game, not their home.
No, so and that's a good point.
That's going to be awesome.
And when you really narrow down how many, major bowl games or national championship games and where they're played, when you really narrow it down, there's not a lot of teams who play in those stadiums. Miami gets a lot of knocks on, their home crowds and all this kind of stuff. And, it's such a long drive from the stadium or from the campus and all that. Okay, it is. And Miami is a small 13,000, undergrad private institution. So we don't have, we're not pumping out, 15, 20,000 grads every year. So the fan base might be smaller just by math alone. And it's not on campus and all that. But I have heard from many recruits and others, when you go to that stadium and you walk into that pro stadium, it is a great place to play and call home. And when we do have big games there, after they installed that glass ceiling, which, hey, isn't that funny? Glass ceiling, like we're kind of breaking it maybe. But when you do have a full stadium and that glass ceiling really makes it loud, man. So I know it'll be more 50-50 for this kind of a game, but I like that we're playing at home. Maybe there's a small advantage there too, but
And it's going to be very, very interesting to see with tonight's ball game, Indiana, Oregon. If Oregon wins, they've got to make the long, long trip. No big deal. They're used to it, but they're going to have to go from Eugene, Oregon, all the way back down again to Miami, where they just played last weekend. Well, no, wait, it was 11 or 12 days ago. I'm so confused. What day is today? Friday? Okay.
yeah, I mean these games, yeah, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, I don't know.
Yeah. But the Ducks can fly, So if they've got to go back to Miami, it's going to be all it's quacked up to be. So we're going
Those are good ones right there. And by the way, I've heard that all of the expenses they generate from that travel just goes right onto their bill. So it's okay. um, Before we talk about Oregon and Indiana, which I think will be a great game, it's going to be hard to match last night's game. One
yeah,
more comment about the
big
Miami
time.
game. I don't like the fact that several times this year, including last night, we Miami dominated on the field in almost every major category, but yet the game was close,
Yeah.
arguably throughout, and it shouldn't have been. I mean, Miami should have been up 14, 17, 20 points, not even just the missed field goal. By the way, our kicker before the Texas A&M game, man, this guy was money. Um, since the Texas A&M game, man, I'm a little nervous if it comes down to a field goal. I wasn't nervous, 3 games ago. Um, Speaking of kickers, kudos to Ole Miss's kicker, man. This guy,
Yeah.
I mean, he hit three, missed one, which we all saw. How
Hit
about
the
the noise? They have those
goalpost.
things mic'd. Do they have the uprights mic'd because it's like bonk? I mean, it's like the loudest noise.
Sounds like a basketball dunk.
It's unbelievable. But this guy hit 58, 54, 51. You can call him clutch. I mean, every point's kind of clutch in that game. So I mean, Canero, whatever his name is, man, he is. It's amazing. But I will say this: talk about domination. So before we move on, Miami, 41 minutes and 22 seconds. That is how long Miami had the ball. I mean, that is astonishing, really, when you think about it. I mean, it's a complete domination of time of possession. 88 plays Miami ran, and they're not. Ole Miss only had 60 plays. Miami, if you would have bet Miami would have 20 more plays run than Ole Miss before this game, you would have won a lot of money. And Miami had 88. Think about that. It's really just 11 for 19 on third down for Miami. That's incredible. Ole Miss two. I think the story was Ole Miss 2 for 10 on third down. That might have been the story, or the four, not off the tip of my fingers, 4 dropped interceptions. 4 that
Yeah.
Miami
Wasn't there
had.
one where it looked like a game of,
Yeah, hot potato.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, hot potato. Yeah, I know. Kids don't play that anymore. Probably because potatoes filed a grievance. Hey, uh, today's world. But whatever. Yeah, there were 3 players standing around. I mean, it literally got batted up in the little circle. Anyways, any one of those interceptions pretty much would have changed the whole trajectory of the game because they were at critical times. But anyways, um,
Well, ball control and defense. I kept reading and seeing comments that Ole Miss, how long did it take them to get into the red zone?
yeah, yeah, I know. We gave up 27 points. Hey, listen, if Ole Miss would have played like they did on the final drive all game, people might say, but of course, Miami went into the prevent defense, the old, killer. And once again, Las Vegas, man, how do they do it? I don't know. Miami wins by 4. I think the line was 3.5 at kickoff. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Vegas does it so many times. All right, let's talk about tonight's game.
Yeah. We made our picks already, and I believe you went out on a limb and you picked the Ducks,
I did.
and and I picked Indiana. But I'm sure everybody out there is really thinking about the storyline about Mendoza and the Hoosiers. I mean, if they win tonight, are they going to be 15-0 now? I mean,
Yeah, I guess
that's
so.
pretty unbelievable. And most people know his life story and what a great kid he is and his family. You know, he's from Miami. So, you know, Mendoza returns to Miami to face Miami is going to be
Yeah.
just lights out. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Plus, he went to Christopher Columbus Catholic High School,
Yeah, your alma mater.
my alma mater,
Yeah.
and so did Mario Cristobal,
Yep.
and so did Alex Mirabal, Miami's, you know,
Offensive.
offensive line coach,
Yep.
who's, you know, I was almost going to say, famous. He's kind of famous because he's like 5'4", coaching these 340-pound 6'7" dudes, but
I'm
he
glad.
obviously,
Yeah, I'm glad we're helping a lot of our listeners and viewers discover all those facts.
yeah,
Columbus.
now great storyline if that ends up happening. But if Miami ends up playing Oregon, it's still a great storyline because obviously most people know that was where Mario was coaching before he came to Miami 4 years ago. So not a lot of former players hanging around. There might be a few with the extra year of eligibility, but anyways, now that would be an interesting storyline as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And just before we cut out of college to get to our NFL talk, I wanted to mention the whole University of Washington Huskies saga with Demond Williams. Did you have some takes on how that whole thing went down? I think I just read where the agent attorney for Demond Williams split from Demond Williams due to philosophical differences because he decided to enter the transfer portal. And then what happened after that? He now he's decided to stay.
That's what I hear. I hear he's decided to stay. I mean, did he decide to stay, or did his agent slash lawyer tell him, "Look, dude, this is going to get really ugly." Um, here's listen. We could have a whole show on this, but
Right.
for all of you out there watching, don't worry. We'll save that for a little bit later. But I will say this: this is a joke. This guy, now everyone knows his NIL deal was, $5 million. Now, you wouldn't have even known his name probably. Now, that to be fair, if you're really into, the transfer portal in Washington, of course, and let's face it though, this guy isn't a household name. $5 million, starting quarterback for the Washington Huskies, who are in the Big Ten. Don't forget.
And they just won a bowl game convincingly where he starred in that bowl game, leading
Yep.
that team.
Right. So you got a $5 million quarterback, starting quarterback for a Big Ten team, the Washington Huskies, who puts himself in a transfer portal, by the way, not by letting the school know, but on social media. You know, we can talk about that. For what? What?
Uh,
More money?
six
You're
million.
you're 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 not winning. You're not. What's the deal? Why you don't like living there? Well, you're there because you went there by choice. And I mean, wins enough. And if it's not money, what is it? You want to win? Well, help your team win.
Yeah,
Be part of the be part of the comeback. Reuben Bain. You know, do you think Reuben Bain loved going 5-7 and losing to Middle Tennessee State?
yeah,
Oh, could he have transferred? Hell yeah. Did he? No. And I'm not. I could list that list is long from a lot of other teams, including Miami. I just personally know that one. Never considered it. You know why? He wanted to be there and help fix it, which inarguably, he has. This is what's everyone can't stand the fact that this portal and these kids, these 18-year-old kids, are holding schools hostage and threatening them and all this kind of stuff. Man, they got to clean this stuff up in a hurry. It's ruining the sport. What it's not ruining, though, is leveling out the playing field, which I'm all for. Look at the
right.
Final Four. Indiana, Miami, well, that might be a little bit of a stretch. Ole Miss, I'm glad that NIL and the portal have leveled the playing field so we don't have to watch the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Ohio States every single year have a clear advantage over all these other teams. So it's good for football.
Totally agree. And well said, well put. And we just need to clean it up. There's got to be control. You know, that's
Yeah.
it. It's,
Yeah.
but this could set a new precedent that if a player decides to go in the portal, okay, we're not condoning this or letting you go in the portal. And if another school wants you, they've got to pick up your contract, pay us. So,
Hey,
you know,
I mean, you want to act like a professional, then you need to be treated like a professional.
right,
Well,
right,
what does that mean? Look at the NFL.
right,
You want to come play for me and get paid? You're signing a 2-year, 3-year contract, a
right.
deal. College, man, I mean, how they circumvented that whole process where they're not employees. That was the dumbest decision ever. Not because it limits players from making money. Oh, we don't want to restrict people from making money. How? Making them obligated to perform what they're getting paid for a certain amount of time, an expected amount of time. That's restricting somebody. It's a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the money, I mean, aside from the amount of money.
Yeah, I'm getting to the feeling like when I watch the Seminoles go out on the field next fall, I I don't care. I'm getting to the point where I don't care who we're playing or whatever. I'm still going to be rooting for the Noles. And you know what? We could be going up against a team that we know is paying, 6 million for their quarterback or this or that. I still hope my kids beat those kids. That's
Yeah,
it. That's how I
right.
feel.
Yeah.
Just that's it. So
I mean, if you look at the list of, money, NIL money, if you look at the list of what colleges are spending, there are 2 or 3 or 4 on the very top of the list, like a Texas Tech, who are spending more than, what it looks like they could or should be able to.
it's that Texas T.
Well, generally speaking, though, it's not crazy. The spread is actually, pretty reasonable,
Yeah.
except for when you get, below number 20, 25. Let's face it, the Tulsas of the world, just throwing teams out there, maybe the Arizona States of the world, they don't have the same leverage money wise as maybe Ohio State and all that. They
Right.
don't. Generally speaking, the top 20, 25 teams are all spending a lot. They just need to cap the amount, keep that same spread, but just have the cap real. I mean, you and I have talked about this. This is a strong feeling I have about the NFL.
Say it, Joe.
One of the reasons the NFL is so popular, and this is maybe it's not, obvious, but it's a real reason, because they have created a completely 100% level playing field. On the on the very first day that the NFL kicks off every year, Indianapolis has the same exact chance as Dallas, who has the same chance as Washington, who has the same chance as Los Angeles, who has the same chance as Kansas City financially. It all comes down to who you picked in the draft, what free agents you picked up, and how well you coach. And that's why people love the NFL. You can't say that anymore about college football. Uh, you've broadened who can win in college football, which is a good thing. Okay. But you still eliminated, out of 134 teams, however many there are, you've eliminated, arguably 75, 80, maybe more, 90, 100 that can't win because of the inequity. But unlike NBA, who, how does teams like in the NBA, hey, I think we'll sign Kevin Durant, for $85,000 million a game. How do they do that? You know why? Because there's no level playing field rules. You can steal from here and steal from here. Baseball. Oh, we'll pay the tax. We'll have a $500 million payroll compared to these teams that have a $100 million payroll. Wow, I wonder why they don't make the playoffs every year. Football has it right. The NFL, I think college needs to start structuring itself very similar.
Totally
So
agree, Joe. Great point.
if
There's
you're going to be a
plus.
farm team, you're going to treat these kids like professionals. They want to be treated like professionals and drive around Lamborghinis, then you will be treated like a professional.
Right. Good point, Joe. And
Thank you.
speaking of professional, maybe now we should get into the NFL playoffs. I can't wait. After
What a
tonight, of
weekend.
course. I'm looking forward to tonight's ball game, the
Yeah.
CFP. But yeah, man, starts tomorrow. And professionally speaking, I've got to believe this is an alleged comment I'm making that I think Stephen Ross watched our podcast the other day when I'll admit it right now, I pleaded for him to let Mike McDaniel go and go after John Harbaugh. Well, I look what happened.
You know, obviously he's a subscriber, smart person. I'll look at the list of subscribers. No, I'm not going to judge anyone who's not on that list. If you are on the list, thank you very much, and we appreciate your comments. Don't forget.
Yeah.
But Miami's going to join the John Harbaugh sweepstakes.
Yeah.
7 out of 8 teams have already openly expressed interest.
Of course.
Right now, who's the one who hasn't? I guess is the question. What team,
Right.
hasn't expressed interest? I'm not sure.
And the Raiders. And the Raiders have been watching our podcast after you made fun of their their punt team woes, after you blasted them. And when you know it, just a couple days later, the Raiders said, Jim and Joe are right. And they fired him.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, it was like a Christmas carol. You know what I mean? Like it was a gift. I was singing a song. Yeah, it was. Hey, listen, I love Pete Carroll as a person, man. But
Me too.
Whatever the reasons he stunk was, we had 25% of the blocked punts in the league last year.
Yeah,
it still makes me laugh, really. Listen, think about this too. You got Mike McCarthy floating around out there. I'm talking like from a Dolphins Raiders point of view. Would you be upset if Mike McCarthy ended up on your sideline? Would you be upset if Brian Flores, who's the Vikings defensive coordinator right now, or Robert Saleh, who's the 49ers defensive coordinator? I mean, did they have their chance in the league? Sure. But you know what? Maybe like Clint Kubiak. What about Joe Brady? Can you imagine you open your eyes on opening day as a Dolphins fan and Joe Brady is on the sideline with his headset on as the head coach of the Dolphins? Would that upset you? I mean, listen, with Ben Johnson doing what he's doing at Chicago, I think the concern of hiring, a unexperienced head coach, but a great coordinator, that's kind of dissipating a little bit. Like, hey, why not? What can it be worse?
It could be raining.
Could be raining. No, but seriously, I would love to see something like that happen, man. The Seahawks OC, Kubiak would be great pick.
Yeah.
I think.
Mike McCarthy, I just read this morning, he is, I think he's going to be the Giants head coach because I read he's having dinner in New York Monday night with the Giants brass. And then he's going to interview on Tuesday.
Yeah.
My advice is don't have too many, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to an interview hungover, Mike.
No, I'm thinking if I ever have done that.
Can't remember?
I'm trying to think of all the jobs I didn't get and what my condition was. No, it's not a good idea. I would never recommend it. Well, unless you're going to like maybe work at like an AA or something like that, where you want to, demonstrate that you can empathize with the customers or something.
Oh, okay.
If McCarthy gets the job at the Giants, is there a new policy the Giants have now that you have to weigh over 280 pounds? I'm not judging at all. Being on the road I personally know this, being on the road is very tough to, eat right and take care of yourself. But,
yeah. Well, they could hire Mike McDaniel. He weighs $142, I think.
Sure does. Hey, listen, we'll see what happens, man. There's a lot of good candidates out there, and be careful what you wish for, blah, blah, blah. But for some of these teams, can't be worse. Like literally cannot be worse. For the Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
You can't do worse than, the Antonio Pierce, Pete Carroll, experiments.
Yeah.
We just wasted 3 years,
Yep. And we'll talk more in the next, we'll keep abreast of all the coaching changes for sure. It's so interesting. It's going to be cool to see who goes where. And there was a Mike McDaniel, I believe he's already been to Detroit to talk to Dan Campbell. and still go back and wish the Dolphins had kept Dan Campbell. But anyway, we let's do our picks, Mr. Joe. We got the LA Rams at the Carolina Panthers tomorrow at 4:30.
So we're going to talk about active head coaches. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. The active head coaches. The
Well, the Panthers have. I've already said this in our quick observations, but they have the worst point differential, not even close, of any playoff team. They're like -69, which when you divide that by how many games they won, wow, that's crazy.
and you
10 and a
mentioned
half point underdogs. Come on.
yeah, and you mentioned that since 1970.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And they're facing, the highest scoring offense, in the league. So 10 and a half point underdogs, the Panthers are. I mean, if I was a betting man, I might take the 10 and a half just because, LA might get bored. But yeah, I don't have any hope for Panthers winning this one. I'm taking the Rams in a snooze fest.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm taking the Rams too, simply because of, and you've heard me say this before, revenge. They had to travel there, what, 3 weeks ago? And the Panthers handled them, and the
Yeah.
Rams
I mean,
are going to be very motivated. I've got a pen. I'm going to write it down. Both
yeah.
of us picking
Yeah.
the Rams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the NFL is a quarterback league still. I mean, yeah, defense matters, special teams, blah, blah, blah. But look, let's face it, it's Bryce Young versus Matthew Stafford. Please. Bryce Young, first playoff start. Ugh.
Yeah.
He'll probably secretly be wearing Depends.
Oh, my. Well, that might be our first sponsor. Good thinking.
Hey.
We've got a
Hey,
Saturday.
last night on that Hail Mary, I kind of wish I had a pair on, quite frankly. Don't worry, they wash. They'll be fine. That's why I don't wear wool.
Oh, and Saturday we've got the Green Bay Packers
Love it.
against the Chicago Bears.
Love
Soldier
it.
Field, monsters of the Midway, right
Yeah.
there.
What's the weather going to be like? Serious question.
Cold.
I mean, it won't matter for either team, obviously. It's not like Dolphins are going up there, but I'm just curious because you got Caleb Williams making his very first playoff start, at home. But being at home, I've never played football on this stage before. I mean, flag football, touch football. We did play tackle football at FSU quite a bit, if you remember that. Big boy football out there on the field. But sometimes being home is not an advantage when you're someone potentially feeling a lot of pressure. And Caleb Williams will be feeling a lot of pressure. Now, does that last a game or last a quarter or one, series? I don't know. But Love has been there before. I like Green Bay in this game, just really based on experience. If I was gonna take just based on skill level and capability, I might go with Chicago. I'm taking the Packers.
Okay, got it. And I wrote it down in ink. And man, this is a really tough matchup. I'm gonna agree with you. We're gonna pick the same team again based on that one thing, and that's the Packers have been there before. And I'm going to pick Green Bay because of that.
Yep,
Experience is going to mean everything in a playoff game.
I think so.
Yep.
Fun fact. If you remember the game they played earlier, Bears won in overtime. Think about this. I remember seeing this stat pop up on the screen. The Bears had a 0.5% chance of winning that game late in the game. Crazy.
That is crazy. And the other thing you just made me think about is wasn't there a malfunction of the heaters on the sidelines when they're, yeah, I think the last time the Bears and the Packers played at Soldier in the regular season or something. Like it really matters for Green Bay. They're used to playing in 20-degree
No,
weather
but
anyway. But
still, I mean, if your heaters are working and mine aren't, I'm not happy about that.
yeah. So far we're picking the Rams and the Cheeseheads. And then Sunday gets real good with the 3 ball games. I
Love it.
can't wait.
Love it.
Buffalo at Jacksonville. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I agree. The over under on that game is high. I forget what it is. Don't forget, they played back in 2017. I forgot about this, but they apparently played in a wild card game. I kind of remember it, and the Jaguars won that game 10-3. Crazy. Hey, Jaguars have 22 picks this year. Their defense is legitimate. I mean, all eyes kind of migrate to Trevor Lawrence, and Etienne and all that, but their defense isn't bad, man.
I think it's going to be Buffalo's ball game here. They don't have to worry about the Chiefs or the Ravens this year. I wonder if they've been kind of just coasting along. They knew they weren't going to win the division with the last couple of weeks coming in. I think Josh Allen takes the Buffalo Bills to Jacksonville and they win by a touchdown.
Great pick. Obviously, that's a good pick. By the way, are you writing these down like in pen, like in ink?
Yeah, but I don't have the one that writes it in underwater like you.
Oh yeah, no, I have a pen that I mean, it's hard to find, but I have a pen that writes underwater. I mean, no problem at all. It writes underwater easily. It also writes a lot of other words. So, fun fact, and
Yeah.
I pulled this one up because I was just looking. Have the Bills ever gone to Jacksonville and played a meaningful game? I didn't realize the Bills 2021, 2023 played in Jacksonville. Guess what their record is 0-2.
Ooh,
So I don't know. Home field advantage for the Jacksonville. I'm going with the Jags.
okay.
Yep. I'm taking the Jags. I think it'll be a fairly high scoring game. I don't know if it's going to cover the over. I think I saw the over was something like 58 or something like that. But I'm going to say the Jags win this game, 31-27.
Okay. 4 points. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, after your prediction for Miami, you had it right to the exact outcome with Miami beating Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. That's I'm gonna be going back to take a look at that. And
Yeah,
then
I think I even said Miami had to get to 31 last night to win.
you got that
And
right too. Yep.
yeah, so there you go.
Man, Joseph the Magnificent.
Yep, so
Thank
far.
you for your prognostications.
Thank you.
So we get through that Bills Jacksonville game, and then we get ready for the San Francisco 49ers at Philadelphia
Love
Eagles.
it. Love this game.
Yeah. And I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think it's my turn to pick first. I'm going to pick the Eagles simply because after I saw what the Chicago Bears did to the 49ers defense, and the 49ers defense does not have Fred Warner, and I don't even know if Tatum Bethune's going to be able to play. He's hurt. I can see the Eagles grinding it out and then really giving Brock Purdy and company a hard time and with that great defense. Pick with defense, Eagles.
Yep. What's the weather like? Real
Uh,
question.
According to the forecast, I'm not real sure. You're supposed to get some rain today and through the week. I think we have a front coming through, so gonna be not sure though. Tonight's
Well,
forecast dark.
and continue dark until morning. I was up all night last night just wondering where the sun was. I kept thinking, where in the heck is the sun all night? And then in the morning, it dawned on me.
Ah, but
So the 49ers, I think McCaffrey is the difference in this game. And I think McCaffrey goes off receiving and running. I think he gets about 135 total yards. And I think the 49ers beat the Eagles.
okay, I got Joe to the left. Joe goes to the left. And I got Jim on the right here for the Eagles. All right. I still think home field advantage is going to mean a lot in that ball game for Philadelphia also.
Yep.
And then Sunday night, we got the San Diego, formerly the LA Superchargers, going on to take on the New England Patriots. Sunday night. You get to pick this one first, Joe.
How about the quarterback matchups in a lot of these games? You've got literally first time appearances or young, first, second year quarterbacks against like seasoned veterans.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. This one's no exception.
No.
I mean, it's unbelievable, really. Drake May, obviously making his first start, home game. Unlike Caleb Williams, I don't think Drake May's gonna feel a thing. I think he's glad to be at home. I keep asking about the weather because it's not like the NFL players. It's not like college where they all come from like a regional place. Most of them, they're from all over. But I like the Patriots in this game, man. I just it's really hard not to think the Patriots fill in the blank on who they're playing. Until someone beats them, it's going to be hard not to pick them.
Yeah, they're tough. Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick the Chargers because of Herbert's experience. John Harbaugh is helping with some tips for Jim Harbaugh with the defense on how to play the Patriots. So it's going to be
Yep.
the Harbaughs against Mike Vrabel and company. But I'm going to pick the Chargers to go in and somehow win this ball game.
Good pick. To be honest,
Thanks.
did Baltimore beat New England or something? I mean, are you getting advice on how to play them? I mean, what if they lost? I can't remember what the score was if they played recently.
Yeah, I'm going
Hey,
with my
we
heart.
lost 42-10. Can you help me with the defense? I mean, like what?
Yeah, I'm going with my heart on that one. I cannot ever root for the Patriots. That's just
Yeah.
how I am.
No, gotcha.
Go Chargers.
Not a bad pick at all, obviously. So we'll see what happens on that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, no doubt. And then Monday night, dun, 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 dun,
Dun 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 dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun dun dun.
the Houston Texans at the Steelers.
Yeah. The Steelers. Why in my head do I just put the Steelers in like the Carolina Panthers? I'm so sorry, Pittsburgh fans. Or maybe I'm sorry, Carolina fans. I'm just saying, it just seems like they snuck they're 500. They shouldn't have won last week, in my strong opinion. They're not beating anybody. They're just kind of winning. Joe, isn't that the same thing? No. Um, Texans just shut down. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers doesn't make it through the game. I mean that, you know, not
Wow.
because he gets pulled. I just think the Texans are too tough on defense, and the Steelers don't have enough weapons. And experience isn't going to win this one.
No, it is. But in everybody's mind right now, and mine too, it's just like, but it's Aaron bleeping Rodgers.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it
know,
is. Yeah, it is.
it's
And Aaron Rodgers, when he was on top of the game, man, he had killer position players. He had great wide receivers. He had a really good running game. He had a great offensive line. Pittsburgh doesn't have that. Can Pittsburgh win? Sure, because it's Houston.
yeah,
But can Houston score enough points to win? Maybe.
yeah. I'm gonna pick the Texans too, and just simply because that defense.
Yeah,
So we're both
it's legit.
picking. We both picked the Texans.
Yeah, I mean it's legitimate. I'm kind of. This is one of those things too, where not quite as glaringly like what, but the fact that the Texans have to go on the road. Oh well, Pittsburgh gets a home game. So
They'll be more cohesive, and they'll be ready to play. D'Amico Ryan's, hey, if he can get them deep into the playoffs, he's definitely a candidate for Coach of the Year.
100%.
He's done a heck of a job.
Hey, listen, road NFL games are hard to win. Road NFL playoff games are harder to win.
Yeah,
So it's not a easy lift for Houston to do it. I just think Houston has the defense to do it. Can they score enough points?
yeah. But the big prize is getting closer and closer. So excited. These games are one and done. Finally,
Listen,
it's
if
here.
you are not a fan of yesterday, today, Saturday, and Sunday, if you're not a fan of this, weekend, come on. And Monday.
And
Sorry, I
Monday.
forgot. It's kind of interesting. The NFL is keeping the same exact schedule, other than additional Saturday games, obviously, but the same Sunday and Monday. It's kind of funny. So teams, obviously you don't play Monday night every week, but as an NFL player, and a fan, you're used to the games being in, Sunday night, Monday night. It's kind of cool they're doing that for this first round. Wild card weekend. Who doesn't love it? Just make sure you have enough beer. I live in a state where you can't buy beer until 12:30. It used to be not on Sundays at all, but at least they changed it so I still have time when I forget.
Okay, good for you.
I mean, if I was going to drink beer.
Woo. Well, that's right. And Diet Coke you can get anytime.
Diet Coke. Yes. All right. Well, let's see what happens tonight and this weekend. Our picks are in. You've written it down with permanent ink.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? That's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And please don't forget, we love your comments. Thank you all for listening, watching. Be a part of our show with us. Drop your comments in there. We'll read them and feature them in future episodes. Be sure to like, subscribe, and catch us every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok, or wherever you listen. Happy football weekend, everybody. Woo!
We'll see you, Jim. Take care, buddy.